I'm a bit heartbroken today, this afternoon, because we were pulling out of the house in my mom's car. My mom was driving because at this point in time and at this point of the video, I still stay with my mom. We were headed to the food market. This well put together brunette lady. I see her as I open the gate. I see her like walking towards into our road. I see her from like a distance, and then I pay her no mind. In fact, I thought that she was looking in our direction because she was a bit concerned of like a possible dog that's in the yard. Because you'll remember I had the gate open, and like we love dogs down here. There's like constant guard dogs in the yard because no one feels safe down here. Also, it's kind of like the culture now to just have dogs in the yard, guard dogs that is. So I thought she was concerned about that. Dude, I close the gate. I hop into the car, into the passenger seat. We're about to pull off. This is like annoying me a bit, but then we're about to pull off. She walks up to my mom. Then she starts talking to her, and then initially, I have to make this clear. You don't see this kind of thing. This kind of thing doesn't just happen. No brunette lady, no blonde lady, no whatever the case, no ginger lady walks up to my mom or any other kind of mom. You get what I'm trying to say? Like no lady just walks up to like a mom of mine and starts talking. Unless you know them. Like no stranger does that. So when this happened, I knew something was up. Initially, I thought she was like a Jehovah's Witness. So she walks up to my mom's car and she starts talking. In my mind, I was like, okay, she's a Jehovah's Witness. This has happened before to my mom. My mom has kindly dismissed them in the past. I say kindly because my mom is a Christian and she goes to church like Sunday in, Sunday out. One of the most religious people you'll ever bump into. That's my mom. She gets us up in like at 3 a.m. sometimes to stop praying for like a couple of minutes, read the Bible, go back to sleep. That's how religious my mom is. She thoroughly believes in, God. But she's kindly dismissed Jehovah's Witnesses before, so I thought this was going to be a case of that again. The lady, she's well put together again. She's got like her phone in her pocket, and she starts telling my mom that I think she said this something along the lines of, "Hey, I've got this item here. I was looking to like maybe sell it for like 50 rand. And by the way, 50 rand is nothing, dude. I don't edit these videos. Can let me see if I can pull up my calculator as I'm recording, just to like give you an idea of what that is in like USD, because I know I've got international fans and whatnot. Not to flex, but let me divide that by 17.50. Probably that's what it is today. That's like almost $3. It's $2.8. She was looking to sell her phone for the equivalent of $2.8. She was like, "Yeah, can I just sell you this item?" She didn't say the phone. She just said item. But then I looked in her hands. It was the phone and the cable. Well put together, lady. I didn't expect this. This broke my heart. And then she was like, she needs like 30 rand because she's short 30 rand. Just it was clear that she was trying to make a story. Trying to come up with like a story, a cover up for what we're all thinking. And then my mom dismisses her, bro. And my mom was like, "Sorry, no, we don't have cash. We don't have cash." Then she pulls up. And then my mom almost backed into another car. My mom was backed up into another car because she was trying to pull off from this lady. This lady's like about 27 to like 32 years old. Like slim. She's slim bodied. Almost bump into another car. The lady who's trying to sell the item, she's like, hey, bust up, man. Basically telling my mom to watch out for the car behind her. In like a very kind way. My mom, yeah, dude. My mom just dismissed it. We went to the store. And then I tried to speak on it. I was like, why didn't you give any money? And my mom was like, what? What'd you say? I was like, why didn't you give any money? He's like, oh, what did you say? And then I said it for a third time, why didn't you give any money? She said, what did you say? And then I just like, you know what, let's turn on the radio. And then a couple of seconds later, my mom goes, can't you see that's like a druggie? Can't you see that she's like a drug lady or whatever? So she heard what I said. She just, I don't know. I don't know why it was so hard for her to like process what I said. Maybe I was slurring my words because I kind of didn't want to, I don't know, like speak up. But then she heard me. I was speaking fast, almost, and it was just us in the car, almost as if I don't want anyone else to hear. I just want her and I to hear. But she heard me. So yeah, she said that, can't you see that's like a druggy person, whatever. Or a junkie, whatever. I was like, alright, cool. Turn on the radio. Just head to the. And my mom is very compassionate, y'all. I don't want you to think that my mom was all compassionate. I just don't know why she wasn't inclined. Well, I guess when I try to think about it, right, I think my mom has never really been in that position of addiction. You know, she doesn't know what it's like to be in the shoes of a person who's addicted. And I use the word addiction because, yeah, obviously I don't know this lady's story, but then obviously she likes this substance enough to like walk up to us. I laugh nervously, like walk up to us and ask for help. You know, like that's not an everyday sight. That's not a sight you see. That is not a sight you see. Yeah, she likes whatever substance that she does enough to walk up to my mom and be willing to sell her belonging. You know, a belonging as dear as like a phone. You know, your phone has like all your information and whatnot, just so that she can feed into this nonsense. By the way, I'm presuming it's a like a drug thing, but then because why else would she walk up to my mom offering to like sell her phone, just so that for like a measly cost, the cost of like the equivalent of $3. You know what I mean? Less than $3. So yeah, my mom is very like compassionate. Again, she's like a devoted Christian, more devoted than most. I will be honest. My mom is very devoted, very committed. She wakes up every day praising. She goes to sleep every day. She's her whole identity is Christianity, you know. But then she dismissed that as if like, I don't know, man, because my mom has had. She's gone out. Hold on, let me drink my drink. She's gone at great lengths to help people similar to strangers. My mom attends one of those churches where like people get prayed for and stuff, you know, and she takes it upon herself to like refer people, be it like her colleagues, be it her neighbors, be it, you know, acquaintances, friends, family. She refers everyone there, even for like the slightest sort of ailment. You've got a chipped tooth, you should go get prayed for. sometimes she'll joke, she's got like a hair problem, she's got like hair loss and stuff, and she's really insecure about that. She'll joke about how she ought to go there and get prayed for, and like I'll be like, Mom, that's such a negligible thing. You need more confidence. Also, you'd be taking up the time of like the the service for such, whereas like people with like greater ailments are there to get prayed for and stuff. And so there was a time when like we went across the street to talk to a neighbor, in an attempt to get the neighbor's daughters like prayed for, because my mom recognized that they were mentally ill, you know. So my mom was just trying to do diligence, was just trying to play her part. It never led anywhere, because the guy, the neighbor, wasn't committed. Obviously, if you were committed, you'd head there. But yeah, I bring this up because like my mom's very, committed to, just like committed to getting people help in that kind of way, in terms of like religion or spirituality or church and stuff. Even like just like, I don't know, dude. Like even other sort of like people with like drug problems and stuff. She's been open and vocal about trying to assist them in that kind of way. I just don't know why she dismissed this lady like that. Like, oh no, sorry, we don't have cash. That broke my heart, bro. That broke my heart. Everything about it, the everything that can break your heart pertaining to addiction, and the thought of it is what I felt, it is what I'm feeling, and it's a feeling that I'm reminded of today. I'm very familiar with the sympathy towards people with like such addictions. It's just that today I've been reminded by it again, and it sucks. And I promise you, just a couple of minutes before we stepped out the house, or like we stepped into the car, I was listening to this one song. That's like a semi serious, semi joking kind of song by this one dude, talking about, I say semi, it was probably like 3/4 joking, 1/4 serious. He was talking about how like temporary solutions. I'll try to link it. I'd actually feature a clip of it in the video, but then again, I don't care to edit these videos. I'll link it. He was talking about how temporary solutions aren't the key for the less fortunate. We shouldn't be given temporary solutions to the less fortunate. The government shouldn't be giving, temporary solutions to the less fortunate. And I was just thinking about how if like I were to meet her on my own accord now and give her a bit of my dough, that would be a temporary solution, because I'm only assisting her with like her high. This lady was very well put together, dude. In fact, I thought she was a normal lady. Well, she is a normal lady. What I mean is, I just thought that she didn't have this kind of ailment, you know. I guess she's like a functioning sort of user. Wow, this broke my heart. Yeah, just a couple of minutes later, I was listening to a song. Like it's like a silly song, man. You'll hear if you click the video, but then the message is there. Like we we're not truly helping these people by providing like, and really there's so much that we as humans can do to help these people, but then that ought not to be an excuse. So yeah, even if I were to speak to her, like maybe I bump into her again, which is unlikely, I'll give her the dough, and then because in that instance, I was thinking about this one particular video of a guy. I'll try to link this video as well. I'll just have to go find it, of a guy who encountered a a a beggar on the street. Is my phone dying? Damn. I'll just have to make a sequel. In that instance, I was thinking about that one particular video of a guy who encountered a beggar who was asking him for money. And then the guy didn't want to give the dude money because he knew that the beggar was just going to use that money for drugs and stuff. But then the guy realized all the times God has provided him with all his desires that weren't necessarily good for him. You know what I mean? Like all the times God knew that providing this particular thing for him wasn't necessarily building him, but God did it anyway. And it got him emotional to think about all the times that he's been given, but yeah, he had the gall, the nerve to deny this beggar the chance to sort of momentarily suppress the pain or their withdrawals and stuff. And that really shifted my perspective on providing such means to addicts or whatever the case may be. Because I was one of those guys who thought, like, how are you gonna honestly expect me to give you this shit? I know what you're gonna use it on, But then that shifted my perspective. That shifted my perspective. Another thing I want to address, you might be thinking, why didn't I hand any dough if I feel so strongly about this kind of thing? It's because I didn't have any cash on me, quite literally. I didn't. Just have my card on me, and even then I don't have a whole lot. But then I would have, if I had cash, I would have spared it, It just got to me how like well put together this lady was. I've said this a million times at this point, but then she was still at the point where she had to ask, she had to sell her belongings in order to feed into her whatever, into her usage. I'm thinking about other things she could have used that money on me, because right now the only thing I'm thinking about is drugs. I can't see any other possible product you'd want to get with such little money. After selling her phone, man, I don't know, bro. It really got to me. And this world really needs to end. We need to graduate into a greater existence, because this isn't it. This world where you have some people at the very bottom and people at the very top. You have people who are suffering, people who are just everything, just every kind of, I don't even want to list every kind of suffering. But yeah. It sucks. It really got to me. This happened like an hour ago. We must have been at the shopping place for like the market for like an hour or so. Wow. I really want to emphasize that you don't see that kind of thing. It's usually two kinds of... Now my mom's calling out for me. Two kinds of brunettes and blondes and gingers that reach out to... it's either addicts or like Jehovah's Witnesses. It's nuts, and I'm not laughing because I think it's funny. I don't know. I'm hurt because if I don't laugh, then I'm gonna cry. That type thing, type shit. Wow, wow to the fact that you people have to beg other people for anything. I'd really like to have a chat with her and just try to get her to be like very open with me. Like okay, dude, what are you on? I want to ask her. I want to ask her how can I, because this is only gonna be a temporary solution, like the song. And by the way, temporary solution is an oxymoron because you haven't really solved anything if it's temporary. If it's just gonna end soon or end at all. I'd ask her like, dude, what can someone do in order to like truly help you? Because someone can give you something today and then not even the next day, like a couple of hours later, you're just gonna be in the same position, if not worse, because of the fresh withdrawals or whatever, or something. I don't know, or because of the fall from the high or whatever. I'd ask her like, what can someone truly do? Because surely you've thought about this. Surely, as you're walking around, as you're roaming, as you're traveling, you're thinking that you're daydreaming about some hero that's gonna swoop in and save you. What would they practically need to do in order to assist you? That's what I would ask her. Upon giving her the funds that she wants. Because you'll remember my perspective has shifted. Because I've seen people like be how people turn out when they're like addicted to substances. So to deny someone like momentary rest, even if it is by means of like providing them the very thing that's killing them. Dude, this existence is nuts. This existence is nuts. And I know I'm not supposed to do that. One of the biggest reasons that I gave for not feeding into such, you know, not feeding into like people asking for money for drugs and stuff was because like of my faith and my religion. Like we should, it says that we shouldn't like give people these substances and stuff. But then when you think about all the times God has given you, even though you've been undeserving, even though the very thing you're asking for is killing you, it gives you a fresh perspective. I wish I could bump into her again. And I wish I could be at a position where I could permanently assist. Because right now, I'm just a walking, talking, temporary solution. And it sucks. Yeah, that broke my heart. That broke my heart. Now I'm thinking about people who take advantage of that kind of thing and just take advantage of someone in that kind of situation. Now I'm thinking about the greater lengths she'd go in order to, achieve her high or whatever. Now I'm thinking about the point where she's no longer offering her phone. She's now graduated to something much worse or whatever. I don't know. You already know what to do. Yes, just keep these people in your thoughts and prayers. Be generous. Be generous in giving and caring and loving and considerate and sympathetic and empathetic. Now I'm thinking about like how she feels. Just like constantly groveling to people to feed into this need. Can't feel great. It must suck. It must suck like 100 times more when she can tell when people are rejecting her because they can identify, they can recognize that she's gonna use it to, get on a high or whatever. Because she feels judged and looked down on. That can make a person feel really worthless. But God has a plan for all of us, He has a plan. We also have a part to play as human beings on this planet. As well as us.
A homeless man comes up to me, this time he said, "Can I have $1?" And I said, "I'm sorry, I can't give you money." And again, I was judging, "But I can get you whatever you want from whatever you want to eat." He said, "No, I just really want $1." I said, "Sorry, I can't give you money." And he saw that I wasn't going to give him anything, so he went to the next table. The next table was another homeless man. The first homeless man asked the other homeless man, "Can I have $1?" You know what he did? Without thinking, he gave him $1. I said, "God forgive me. God forgive me. I was judging him." Another homeless man gave him $1, and I didn't give him $1. Sometimes I get asked that, well, should we give money to homeless people? And oftentimes we judge and maybe that person is doing drugs. But then I started thinking like, well, how many times has God given me money and I used it for the wrong? Every day, right? How many things have we bought that we wasted, right? We waste money all the time. But does God still give me money? Yes, He still gives me money. Even things that I've used it in the wrong or I've wasted, yes, He still gives me. Who am I to say no? And then what if by me giving him $1, maybe that saved him from doing something really bad? Like doing something bad to get $1, right? So don't judge. Don't judge anyone. And how you want God to deal with you, deal with others. A homeless man comes up to me and says,
if we continue to give temporary solution to the poorest of the poor, to the poorest of the poor, one day the poor will become poorest, and the poorest will become the poorest of the poorest. That's the poorest of the poorest. If we continue to give temporary solution to the poorest of the poor, to the poorest of the poor, one day the poor will become poorest, and the poorest will become the poorest of the poorest, the poorest of the poorest. Let's have a rethink. Let's think about this again and give the permanent solution to the poor.